Ini udah Pak.
Udah. Enggak maksudku yang dari kamera ini bisa langsung apa? Ini cuma kamu doang, jadi yang masuk. Masa kamera laptop ini doang, yang sini nggak bisa.
Video setting ini izin kamera doang. Iya, tapi bisa gini nggak ya? Ini nggak bisa nyala ininya virtual ini. Ini virtualnya, virtual ini. Paling cuma lampu doang kan ini. Mana ya? Mau diajarin Gak bisa, itu gak ada colokan juga di ini diratain itu. Kita begini namanya apa aku coba tanya ke Dewi ya?
Kameranya yang mana El? Yang ini ya?
Ya, bukan. Ini kabel ini HDMI.
Ini kan?
Masih ya. Oke. Wih, gila Stefani. Udah. Udah cari aku di lampu enggak? Ini tadi kayaknya kabelnya, Kak. Kabel ini kurang.
Nanti kalau apa pilihnya di sini, Kak. Ini yang isi kamera itu yang ini. Kalau yang atasnya itu.
Tadi kamu cuma satu doang.
Ini
Oh,
dia
iya.
kurang manfaat lah ya. Nah, saya
Berarti kamu yang standby sini deh.
Bisa
Geserin
kok,
lagi, Pak. Soalnya mirip
tinggal di atur aja kurang kesini kan arahnya. Enggak, pindahin aja tiangnya. Sabar ya, ini pindahin dulu ya Kak.
Itu kan
Nggak bisa. Enggak, ininya aja diputer, ini aja diputer.
ini tiangnya yang seputar.
Bukan, mau saya taruh sana. Sini.
Dia jadi enggak harus. Terserah. Ya udah terserah. Nah, ini itu tomatnya yang masih tutup tombolnya. Nah itu. Ya itu. Nah, coba arahnya ke sini deh. Terus diputer aja kan nggak bisa diputer ya?
Ini aja ya.
Lagi. Tampak samping berarti ya?
Iya.
Apa kursinya?
Enggak, kursinya udah setting begini deh.
Iya, tampak samping.
Nggak bisa di sini sebentar.
Ini kabelnya dipanjangin dulu.
Ya tadi udah tutup loh. Bukanya. Ini lepas.
Nah, 8. Oke, tinggal ditarik.
Better gini nggak sih? Atau gini aja?
Yang gini aja lah, apa di sini? Nggak nyampe. Di sini bisa. Iya, kan berapa sana?
Biar ada
Lihat bacanya gitu ya.
Oke, biar kena ini juga ya kan? Kena BPT-nya kan? Biar BPT kena, terus Fanny juga kena.
Aret.
Ya bang?
Coba cek suara dari mic, Red.
Kenapa bang?
Jangan pakai suara dari ini. Cek suara dari mic-nya sama speaker, Red.
Ya bang. Aku udah cek sih tadi bang.
Ini suaranya masih pelan banget, Red.
Iya. Langsung sih. Masuk nggak? Coba. Ini bisa masuk. Coba ya, aku ngomong. Nah, di kamu kedengeran nggak? Coba kamu jauh deh. Iya, emang delay biasanya deh kalau misalnya YouTube. Atau kalau kamu di luar ruangan coba deh. Jadi biar nggak.
Ya, Red.
Ya bang. Ya bang. Halo. Ya bang.
Suara coba. Udah masuk belum? Ini agak mendengung ya.
Oh mungkin kalau deketan bang.
Enggak masuk soundnya, Red. Aku ngikutin kok, Red. Saya ngikutin dari Zoom kok. Saya online kok. Jadi kalau mau ada apa-apa ngomong aja.
Ini kedengaran nggak?
Enggak kedengeran. Jadi sound dari speaker itu nggak masuk, nggak kayak begitu. Jadi dia harusnya satu. Coba deh telepon Anggi deh. Dia tahu caranya.
Siapa bang?
Coba Aret telepon Anggi, gimana caranya suara dari sound system itu dari speaker itu masuknya ke Zoom, bukan lewat kayak begini.
Oh iya oke. Halo, masih.
Good Afternoon, Prof. Oh. I just finished my. Please welcome to our. You want it? Yeah, it's up to you, bro. Do you want a cup of coffee without sugar or coffee? Coffee, please. Okay, okay. Coffee. So I have already water. Yeah.
Tadi yang bilang dia kita yang jadi moderator itu di Prancis. Jadi mereka bisa
Bahasa Prancis. Sampai ya.
I forgot my name card and so I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, program. My name is Ferdinand. So nice to meet you.
Ferdinand, ya.
So
Difficult.
So Prof. And it's
Called An or Young. Oh, not young, but An.
Okay, nice to hear that. So it's from Municipal Police Institute in Korea.
Yeah, one of the NGOs foundation.
Oh, okay.
The first the name
Yeah.
of the institute is the Think Lab. It's a politician's son established foundation. It had the name of Seoul.
Yeah.
But she actually did have a smaller and little industry. So I work with opposition party.
Okay. Okay.
As president, I oppose. So all the possible opposition. Kalau boleh saya interupsi sedikit. Prof. Hani ini saya belum profesor, jadi saya belum profesor di mungkin nggak. I studied in Europe.
Bang, ini yang margarin.
France. So it's a social democracy.
Yeah.
It's like not just minister, but they want to keep the legality and equality and so not Republican.
Yeah, not Republican.
Like in the democracy. I like the social democracy. I was equity.
Yeah, exactly. I was staying in Sweden for 2 years, and the Social Democrat Party is very strong there. Fighting for equality and something like that. Actually, they are one of the longest serving Social Democrat Party in the world because they are ruling on almost like more than 30 years in Sweden.
A few years ago, they
Yes.
promoted parity between
Exactly.
and now they obligation they canceled. Yeah. Naturally, they always do.
But unfortunately, today it's ruled by Sweden is ruled by the Republican, the Liberal Democratic Party, and the right wing party as well. That advise white this
Sweden is not all free in charge of the state. Hey, all the students in the
yes.
Yeah.
So, may I know what subject you will deliver to our students? I mean, you have any slides to
Yes,
to
I have my presentation.
later on in the we should go with
I think I thought deliver a more conceptual thinking.
Great. Yes.
A basic methodology, and for some to view more complex.
Okay.
Excellent.
Performance measurement.
Yeah. You're majoring in public policy, that's why I asked something because
Public policy and public
yeah,
law.
public policy. That's why I asked the certificate. Can we our class is on research methodology and how this research will, give some kind of contribution to policy.
But actually, master for social policy. First, I can fill up the research methodology. All the philosophy professors, their major was
Wow.
Actually,
Our student is on the second year. Some of them maybe, yeah, sophomore, sophomore.
Saya berbeda, we speak bahasa more relaxing. Dan we speak English very serious, more relaxing. Ada beda gaya, beliau ini kan alumni Solo. Jadi kalau saya lihat beberapa orang, memang gaya Perancis itu tidak precise ya kayak Amerika. Agak berbunga-bunga, agak filosofis gitu ya. Dan beliau mungkin karena lama di Perancis sehingga gayanya begitu. Dan Inggrisnya juga di Amerika yang straight forward gitu. Nah ini yang kadang-kadang mahasiswa agak berat memahaminya. Nggak apa, not saying anything. Tapi saya pikir yang penting mahasiswa itu di fokus gitu ya. Nah saya biasanya kalau beliau saya udah kenal beliau sejak tahun 2012 karena waktu saya di Sidap Sidap itu punya partner dengan OECD Korea. Nah beliau ini salah ekspor di OECD Korea. Kita udah terlibat dan beliau sangat ketika awal ketemu sangat friendly, sangat warm, sangat akrab. Jadi saya merasa nyaman dengan beliau. Sejak itulah beliau kita jadikan teman bicara dan banyak hal gitu. Nah mungkin yang sangat penting dari beliau adalah kaya dengan pengalaman.
Iya, itu yang
beliau di sini berbiskan kata kalau bisa macam-macam bahasa Senegal macam. Jadi memang kalau gali ya. Itu aja masalahnya. Memang saya lagi beliau dari Amerika yang precise yang
jadi mahasiswa itu kita kan berapa kali undang dari berbagai universitas berbagai negara, so they learn how to deal with, let's say, professor from US, professor from Korea, and from many other countries. Mereka juga kan bahasa Inggris tiap negara beda-beda. Dia terus belajar.
Kayak pengalaman.
Iya, pengalaman. Karena kalau mereka mau ke luar negeri, paham.
Tadi sih sempat ada. Jangan apa? Oh, itu posisi tulisannya di mana? Nggak ada. Nggak ada, bilang sampai ada tulisan aux gitu. Nggak ada. Iya. Coba, ntar aku telepon dulu sama. Iya. Oke, baiklah. Iya bang, thank you Tapi oh ya, coba. Kan udah kedengeran jadi. Coba kedengeran. Coba kakak YouTube.
Ini karena suara mereka berisik ya? Iya. Tapi berarti kedengeran toh?
Kok suaranya gemas?
Ini karena coba dek. Suara kamu yang nggak kedengeran. Suara kamu nggak kedengeran. Kedengeran tapi buyar. Tapi ini ya gemak. Kayak enggak, suara kamu nggak fokus. Halo. Ibu di gini, jadi dipindah kemana? Sebentar, ruangan ibu itu ada di 33. Sebentar, ruangan ibu itu
Ini acara jam berapa?
jam 2, Bu. Rabu.
Ini acaranya Mempusan itu?
Bukan.
Yang kasihan.
Bukan. Sekarang hari apa sih, Bu? Hari Senin. Ibu mah ada di 336 ini, Ibu.
Iya ini toh. Stefani, sini tanya.
Oh iya. Aku harus dari ruangan dulu, Bu. Ya, kemarin di ruangan berapa, Bu? Sebentar. Bukan ini, karena kan minggu kemarin gini juga. Ya, sebentar ya, Bu ya. Di 59 ya, Bu ya? Bu, di 59.
Mati nggak?
Seharusnya enggak. Maaf deh nih.
Ini pakai Sony ini soalnya. Bisa. Jangan diganti. High definition audio device.
Ini siapa deh? Ini apa? What for what? Oh.
Berisik banget sumpah. Weh, diem dulu dong.
Karena fisik sebenarnya nggak unik.
Sabar mute dulu deh gue.
Lagi.
Bang.
Kocak game.
Ini ada suaranya. Jelas.
Coba lagi.
Ya suaranya nggak cuma harusnya. Tes. Bagusan gini kan? Karena suara kamera. Masih ini kita pakai suara ini. Jadi kalau misalkan dia ngomongnya di sini jelas. Oh, karena kita pakai suara kamera dari mic dari kamera. Kalau misalnya pakai mic ya gema pasti pecah soalnya mic-nya kan ruangan. Aku arahinnya rada ke sini. PPT-nya
Coba cek suaranya. Siapa namanya? Aret, Mika.
Kedengaran, Pak. Suaranya aman.
Kamu yang di ruangan, yang di ruangan, yang di ruangan. Yang di ruangan siapa nih? Oh, udah datang nih.
dan teman-teman, sebelum kita memulai kuliah MPHI hari ini, ada dari kita memulai kita. Saya akan berdoa dalam ajaran Kristen dan Yesus, terima kasih kesempatan hari ini, kami bisa berkumpul di sini untuk memulai kuliah MPHI. Kami berdoa ya Tuhan, agar kuliah kami dari awal hingga akhir berjalan dengan lancar sebagaimana kami rencanakan. Kami juga berdoa untuk teman-teman kami yang mungkin masih dalam perjalanan ke sini, berkata mereka Tuhan, menjadi dekati kami, mahasiswa kita berusaha tetap fokus dan berpikir. Terima kasih kesempatan hari ini, kami berdoa haleluya.
Terima kasih Kalita. Sebelum kita mulai sesi kuliah tamunya, mungkin ada sedikit pengalaman gitu ya dari aku bahwa kelas ini sebenarnya adalah untuk kalian mempelajari bagaimana riset itu bisa dilakukan, bisa dipakai dalam hal menyusun kebijakan. Ya, jadi memang kesannya elitis banget, kesannya politis banget, tapi memang untuk kalian yang ingin mengejar karir di bidang perumusan kebijakan, nah ini sangat penting dan harus dipelajari, gitu ya. Aku pun juga ya hitungan baru, gitu loh, masuk ke apa namanya tentang perumusan kebijakan melalui riset. Gitu. Ternyata sebuah kebijakan, apalagi di zaman sekarang, itu nggak bisa asal bikin, gitu ya. Pengalamanku pribadi, misal di BKPM, mereka mau membuat organisasi internasional seperti OPEC tapi tentang nikel, belum dibuat, tapi udah brainstorming beberapa kali. Cuman untuk bilang ke Pak Menterinya ini boleh atau tidak boleh dilakukan, gitu. Nah, jadi sepenting itu sebuah riset untuk perumusan kebijakan. Nah, untuk kehidupan sehari-harinya memang agak susah untuk dipraktekkan, gitu ya. Tapi soalnya aku biasanya kalau kasih contoh gitu, misal kalian mau pulang kampung, apalagi dari daerah non Jawa, kalian cari tiket paling murah itu udah riset, gitu. Atau kalian belanja di Shopee, mau cari barang yang paling murah itu juga udah riset. Nah, fungsinya sebenarnya dari kuliah tamu ini adalah mau membumikan, mau melokalkan sifat kritis, sifat mencari, sifat ingin tahu dari sebuah riset ke kehidupan sehari-hari, apalagi ke perumusan kebijakan. Kira-kira seperti itu. So, without further ado, I will open this general lecture with theme of the uses of research in policy making and practice. Before we start the materials, I will invite Ms. Angel to give opening speech.
So I would like to thank Rohan for being here. It is really a great pleasure for us. So we can, the students as well, we can study about how a policy should be made from the research. Because I believe Professor Ati is a professor from the public policy in Solo, in Hansen University Solo. Dia adalah profesor dari public policy dan beliau juga aktif dalam lembaga-lembaga internasional dan beliau adalah advisor. Profesor Ati, you are also the advisor of many international NGOs, right? Yeah, so he's the one that is very expert untuk memberi informasi kepada kita kalau kalian mau belajar bagaimana sih menyusun sebuah riset yang nantinya bisa menjadi rekomendasi buat pemerintah atau bisa untuk menyusun sebuah kebijakan. Makanya yang saya undang adalah mahasiswa khusus dari kelas saya dari MPHI, walaupun dari kelas yang lain tentu saja sangat perlu ikut kelas ini. Artinya bisa tahu tuh bagaimana membangun atau menyusun sebuah kebijakan yang berbasiskan riset. Jadi nggak ujuk-ujuk sebuah kebijakan dibuat yang material, tapi harus berbasiskan riset supaya tahu ini bermanfaat. Apa manfaatnya dari sebuah kebijakan yang berbasiskan riset. So, saya berharap kalian bisa mengambil banyak informasi dari Profesor An, dan kalau bisa berbahasa Korea, please feel free. to raise up your question in Korean. Yeah, Professor An will be happy, right? Not only not only Saramil, but many other words of course, ya. Saya yakin kalian bisa. Kalau mau bertanya dalam bahasa Korea silakan, kalau dalam bahasa Inggris atau dalam bahasa Indonesia juga apa nanti Mas Dari bisa terjemahkan ke bahasa Korea atau Profesor An. Acara hari ini tentu saja di moderatori dipandu oleh Mas Dari. Terima kasih Mas Dari, berikan tepuk dulu untuk Mas Dari luar biasa. Bukan juga yang dekat dengan teman-teman mahasiswa dan banyak memberikan kontribusi tentu saja. Dan tepuk tangan juga buat kalian yang sudah hadir pada hari ini, yang hadir on-site maupun atau yang nanti mengikuti lewat YouTube. Ya, terima kasih untuk partisipasi kalian sudah hadir dan sekali lagi terima kasih juga buat Mikael dan Jessica dan Tanta yang sudah bersedia membantu yang walaupun dadakan berikan informasi dan tentu saja terima kasih untuk Profesor An dan terima kasih buat semua yang sudah membuat acara ini terlaksana dengan baik. Mungkin itu saja dari saya, biar kita bisa langsung dengarkan paparan dari Profesor An. Saya kembalikan ke Mas Dari, silakan.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Angel, for your opening speech. Before we move to the main session today, which is the general lecture, I want to tell you guys about a bit about Professor An Yong-kun, his background and his positions. So his educational background, he got his bachelor from University of Picardie, France, and Kookmin University, Korea, majoring in public law and public administration. And then he got his master from University of Paris, second, majoring in public law, and then political sociology in University of Paris, fourth. And then he got his PhD from University of Paris, second, Panthéon Assas, majoring in public law. And then his position currently, he is the president of the Think Foundation as legal corporate association. And then chief director of the Public Policy Future Institute in Hansei University, Seoul, expert advisor to the Presidential Special Committee on Sejong Jeju Decentralization and Regional Balanced Development Policy, legal advisor to the Ministry of Legislation, Korea, and then vice president of the Korea Research Institute for Local and Municipal Policy. So yeah, that's some of his backgrounds. So without further ado, I want to invite Professor An to come forward to join us. Yep. And then in this session, mainly we will use English because it will be understandable for everyone. Because if it's in Korean, only me and Professor An who can understand, or maybe with some of you also. So if you guys have questions later on in Bahasa, it's okay. I will translate it to him. Okay, but before we have the discussion session, we will move to the presentation session first from Professor An. Okay.
Thank you. Just call me An. Yes. And it's great honor and very pleased to be here. Today I'll talk a little bit something a little bit vague. You stop me during my presentation and you ask the question that you have. Okay? Yeah. Here I just want to show you K-pop dance that I'm not expert. Maybe I can learn from you, but I have some inside. What? Yeah. now place Jim. He is going to military service. And then he place 4 years. Me, as when I was young, 40 years ago, but now only 20 months. 20 months, 4 years. I start my university and I graduate 10 years because I had a democratic manifestation. I was caught and go to the jail and come and also I sent to the military service. So today, my title, theory, and some thought, maybe it's a political thought. So let's start, but if you have any questions, okay, stop me. No? Public policy, yes, policy, it's a kind of project or statement made by government, yes? Next. But some example policy, we have so many kind of policies, but the most important thing for us is, I think, welfare social policy, okay?
Yes.
So, I understand.
Something more with the contract. We have to put this here.
I have to be stick here because of the camera, or can
To a certain extent you can move. Yeah, but don't too far.
So have you learned the public policy? No? Yes. No? Oh. I said, yeah, public policy. It's government doing. Private sector is business. Yeah, all things business. But in public sector, all things to do done by government or to do is the public policy. Yeah. Public administration, public policy, public means public service. Public service in the, for example, yeah, how can we define nation or state? One of the famous German philosopher or German socialist, Max Weber, said state or nation, or some different nation state, but in total, one nation. How can we define nation? The country. The country has the entity, one of the body possess violent power, or it's the legitimate violent power. What it means, violent legitimate power. One, as a nation, not nation represented by the president of the Indonesia or Korea, president, but the nation have to provide people with public service. So one obligation is public service, nation. The other one is what will be. Normally, you sometimes receive a kind of a financial aid or something, the social service work, you receive your parents, and when you marry and also and to become a couple, you give birth to your child, you will financed by the in part financed by the government also. So it's the public, it's a social welfare policy, we call it public policy, but it's what we call public service. So one country, nation, or government have to guarantee public service, the delivery public service to the people. And nation deliver the other thing. It's the legitimate violence, yes, or legitimate violence. Violence means the power. It's the we call it public power, or the police, represented by police. If you don't observe any traffic rules, or you commit crime, in that case, you will be in prison. By whom? It's a government, nation, country. Yeah? So country only has the legitimate violent power. So nation give public service. At the same time, public, they have to keep public power. Public power, it's the can obtain by your vote. So very ironical phenomena in our society. You vote for president and the ministers and public high-ranking public officials. At the same time, their higher public officials, they pass exam the recruitment of the public official. For example, in your court, the judicial court, judges, they pass exam. They are public servants. Yeah. They serve for us, but they judge us. So in the United States, judge is not judge. It's the people. We select people, they become jury. Yeah, at the court. It's a normal process. Jury decide you're guilty or not. And the judges technically calculate 10 years in prison, 5 years in prison, yeah? Or just really. So even the ministers, they are elected, but you elect them. So the vote is very big, yeah? Because one thing is they instead on behalf of you pay as a tax. You pay, you get the money. And you elect him, but you be punished by him. But you select. So you select, your selection is very good. So it's public policy like this, okay? So policy never decided by government, not president. President has the power only the nomination power, yes, or make budget. But it's the parliament decide many things. Yeah. So in our country, ministers no power, only some nomination power, yes. Even the same for President of the Republic of Korea, and it's the National Assembly or MP, members of Parliament, MPs, they are very powerful. In Korea, we have no recall system. We cannot step down the MPs. Once they elected, they guarantee 4 years. After 4 years, we elected. So the election rate almost 30%, 30%, less than 30%. Okay? And constitutional level, statutory means some law made by MPs, but the other administrative law made by government. So I forgot one more thing. Nation, guarantee, and deliver public service. Okay. For the public service, the administrative law. When you are some victim of the accident, for example, when you across the world, there are some something is falling down and hit your head. In that case, if the building or the signs are there maybe you cannot find someone who's fault. In that case, the administrative law protects the victim, us. The administrative law is not for the government, not for the public officials. It's for the citizens. Citizens have something to problem with the public officials. In that case, you have to rely on the administrative law. So administrative law is very important for you. Okay? The voting, administrative law. So we have to know the law. I passed some process how we make the public policy. I'll pass just. Okay? Because you do not have any idea about the making of public policy, so I will skip. Okay? But we have many types of public policy. I mentioned already social welfare policy, educational policy, all things to do by government. It's big public, it concerns public policy. Yes. So good policy. When the government provide you their job, the good policy is generalizable. So social welfare policy, general, is to all the national citizens. Okay, and mutually exclusive. One thing and the other thing, you have to be distinguished. Okay, and collectively just means for the whole kind of public policy have to be provided. It's better. Okay. So I just pass with a very famous American professor called Theodore Lewis. He promoted the democracy. He classified some policy. So he classified like distributive and regulatory and redistributive. It means here distributive is like a social policy, this distribution. We give a financial aid and assistance to all things, yes. But the distributive policy, we distribute money. The problem is currently we always attend. If you receive many public services, so in advanced countries, when I was in France, for example, many African people came from the Africa. They immigrated from Africa into France. So as a father, if father and mother have 5 children, not necessary to work. Government give money, very sufficient money. It's like a clientelist, just to wait and receive the money with 5 children, because 2 children, government give money. Korea now in a little bit older society and became belong to the old people. But when I was young, I have my kid. If I have some, I have nothing from government, but nowadays our birth rate for women, it's a 0.7. Birth rate for women, it means one woman during her life having a baby, to test the baby. In that case, 1% is normal. For when I was in 30 years ago in France, below 0.6, but during 30 and 40 years, they distributed so much money to the whole household or to the family. So now in Europe, France is the birth rate is higher, so almost 2.0. But now in these days, Korea is 0.7. So in 2030, there will be the birth rate like a 0. So now we have to open the Korean society, open the multicultural international marriage. So nowadays YouTube, so many international couples. So I follow some Indonesian and Korean couples here. It's very interesting. Living Jakarta or Bali, Yogyakarta also, Bandung too. Many. Oh, some Koreans speak very well in Indonesian as well. For me, it's not possible. So maybe many Korean men, they can hear you. So another problem is interest group, because the public policy is not produced itself. It's pushed by interest group. So every distributive policy, it's kind of interest. So to get or monopolize the interest, there will be some very big groups of the problem. So, and another competitive regulatory policy is always a kind of, for example, the radio and TV, when we affect frequencies in IT system also the same, because it's always in competition. In exam, or if you want more scholarship from government, you have to pass the competition, basically competitive regulation. Protective regulation is for the environment system, because we are now suffering climate change, so we have to keep clean the air, traffic air also, so health care reform, it belongs to protective policy. Okay? So I mentioned public policy, but from now on, I will say I'll test some sort of public policy. Okay. And after, I will give you some hint about the methodologies and how we can change the whole single world, the point of view. Okay? The public administration, government have to satisfy or correspond to your needs. Yeah. You see the light? You are a taxpayer or your father. Maybe when you go to hamburger shop or the KFC, you pay tax, yes, indirect. So indirect tax is more unequal. Yeah, because one person who earn the money 100 a month pay the same price when she buy one hamburger, and more richer person buy one hamburger, pay the same. Yes. So it's not equal, not egalitarian policy. So the consumption tax is indirect. The government tax collect and after redistribute as the social public service to the more unrich people. Okay. So the government or public policy and public administration, their obligation is to respond to their needs, satisfy taxpayer. Because your student, even student pay indirect consumption tax, so your taxpayer too. And public administration respond, yes, okay. Predetermined citizen need. It's we call it social need. We need something, we ask for the government to give me more assistance, more service. It's social, yeah, it's social demand coming from us. But here I mentioned supremacy of offer over demand. We have many demand, so we ask for the government to give more, but it's not all accepted. The government selects, not us. They government, and who is government? More powerful person. For majority party in parliament, yes, majority party, or among majority party members of the majority party, more powerful leader, a small group of leaders decide. So that's why we demand, but offer is more powerful, the supremacy of offer. So we have many social demand, but citizen cannot decide. But happily nowadays, because we have SNS and IT system, with IT system, we can directly demand through online, not offline, online. So IT system is more powerful, more transparent, more effective, more direct, more fast. Yeah. So before, we always tell the more powerful importance in offer, not demand, but nowadays little by little change. So in Korean society, political system so behind compared to the private sector. For example, Samsung or Hyundai or other big conglomerates, they gone so far, but government cannot follow them. Even our laws cannot follow the private sector leader. Nevertheless, our NGOs, many private sector leaders and experts coming into government. So I observed in Indonesia also the same, many higher ranking positions of the government open to private sector. Sometimes I can apply to the official position, but I proposed and I requested my candidate. I was selected at first 2 times for the OECD, but rejected by Minister of Foreign Affairs because it's the opposition party. I was in the other party, so in your political situation, it's like that. Okay. So social demand not decide, it's the powerful person in position can decide. So to prevent the kind of overpower, you have to be directly use IT and direct participatory democracy have to be prevail, have to be victory. Yeah? So that's why I mentioned here social demand. Social demand is not what I see. Behind social demand is the government and powerful person and interest. Very powerful NGOs can decide also. That will be the problem, but sometimes it's a good solution. So it's not judged directly, and public administration is powerful social and one of the big groups. In Korea, all the students from university, they want to pass the exam to become the public official, because once get the position and once pass the exam to become public officials, even until retirement, official retirement, don't have any occasion to be sacked, to be off. Guaranteed. So we have in our public servant system, the public officials, it's started from ninth degree, 9th A, until first grade, and after first grade is exceptional class. So our exam, one is 9th and 8th grade exam. The other thing is 5th grade. It's the middle dimension. From this is the faster stream. They can become in 15 or 20 years after Director General, and sometimes the minister also. That's why they lifelong guarantee to become the public officials, and after retirement, they can get pension. Yeah, pension is low. But our citizens, ordinary people also get a pension. There is the national pension, but the national pension is not so high, so minimum, at least the minimum level. So many things to be public policy. Something have to be political aspect, and after become policy agenda. Agenda means it's like what to do, what we are going to do, but not decide, but we are planning to do is the agenda. Agenda is not a public policy, but before that stage agenda, we have so many agendas, many issues, among issues, we can select real policy, okay? So nowadays we say welfare state, every country, and from including Indonesia and every other countries also we call it welfare state, because the government give, but government formed by us, okay? It's made by us, so government give us many public service. That's why we call it welfare state. All welfare state, always we have more and more many social demand, but with increasing of social demand, the other not very good situation is also state intervene many times in everywhere. So in everywhere in your life, you will see government, nation, even in your daily life. Or for example, university decide some ceremony in your class, but it's decided also by the nation. So in all your life, you, for example, you watch the TV, but TV program or TV operation decided, regulated by government. So we demand many things, and the other side, the government intervene more in every way, in every corner of your daily life. government present. Okay. So education. No. It's a understandable. You can understand. Okay. That's right. Education, okay. Education, okay. Yeah.
Hello everyone. My name is Theo. I want to ask about how you create public policy, but you don't have right, but not right, but you don't have any chance because government control everything, right? So how we can make like public policy, but government can accept that the leader what we, for example, we doing demonstration for government, and what our ideas is never be realization from them. How we can solve that? Thank you.
How we can access to government? How we can deposit our demand? How? To whom? To whom? At the local level, you have the local government office, no? Yes. Or central government. Your president portal site, you can deposit. Yes, parliament, you can deposit at your telephone. Give a phone directly to your MP. You didn't try. You never try. Then in your area, your home, around, there will be the office of MP. You have ever testing of vote for the legislation? No presidential? You never. Not yet. Not yet. Okay. No. You will find in the presidential website, there are some, yeah, always. Even it's not real, always you can deposit your opinion. But that's all. No extra any answer. But that's why in your administrative law, the government have to be answered within 14 days or within 1 month when you got a question from citizen. They are the kind of application, the provision you have. So you never thought about that, but public policy, all things are public policies. If you have any opposition, something to raise against the government policy, you can deposit your opinion. If you find everywhere there are some toolkits you can use. Yeah. So you never thought about that. Okay? Yeah. You try. And I mentioned already, your voting is very important. So in our country also, the voting day, sometimes voting day is a holiday, but sometimes it's not holiday. In that case, they are pre-election day. We can deposit. I want to go to take a trip to abroad or the other, in Korea, everywhere we can vote, even for the MPs and local government, local councillors, any election we can vote in any place, not just our hometown, but the other place. When I go there, we can vote only the ID card. Yeah. And your country will be the same if not yet the kind of system you asked for, because after election day, I will not stay in my home, I will go to the other place. So I want to vote, I want to exercise, I want to give my vote in the other place. You claim. In that case, they change, they make another system, more complementary system. It's the social demand, okay? And you don't know to whom we can ask for, we can request our opinion. So it's a political intermediate. We have many political intermediates. Normally in our society, for example, in our class, we elect our representative, the chair. And in our apartment, in our hometown, we elect also the head of our village. So in everywhere, we select the representative, your leader, and every level leader. So it's the president of the Republic of Indonesia and of Korea is the summit. So that's why we call it the summit. Yeah? So the same. In every layer, you have the political intermediate. If you find around your hometown, you will find many political intermediaries, and also public officials, director, they will be the political intermediate. Yeah? So I skip. I'm very. Before I mentioned the supremacy and the powerful offer system, not demand. It was analyzed by the American German Galbraith. So they say always consumer sovereignty. It's the one of the myths. We are consumer of hamburger. We decide our menu? No. Already hamburger company decide the menu, not another. Yeah. So it's the real chimney myth. It's the myth, the consumer sovereignty. We nothing to decide. We can buy iPhone or Samsung Galaxy phone, but it's already company, brand conglomerate they made. The automobile buy the same. We are not the consumer. Consumer is not king. Consumer is not just payer. Yeah. From that point of view, we analyze the power. It's the name of anatomy of power. So social, our demand is artificial. It's a kind of an artifact. Think. We demand, but our demand is not all accepted. So our demand are artifact, a kind of a thing. Yeah. And another very famous person, Robert Simon, in the 60s, in the 1960s, he mentioned bound professionality. Rational. I'm very rational people. I think the normal, and I'm very intelligent think. And the president of Joko Widodo, for example, he decide public policy as a president. he is really intelligent person. In every country, every president, they power themselves their own power to decide policy. No, it's not. Because to decide something, foreign policy or public any policy, we have to have first information. We have to know the situation. We have to analyze the environment. We have to analyze who are the main actor. How can we implement program? So we need many information, but we cannot manage all things. We cannot have all information. So we are limited. We are confined. We already inside some area. We are not great expert of all kinds. So that's why Albert Simon called public policy, or we are bounded. We have bounded rationality. We decide public policy. We decide, for example, to launch missile. In that case, we don't know whole information. We know only partial information. That brings sometimes very bad consequences, sometimes good consequences. It depends on a lot. To reduce the kind of mishap, try to get information and to analyze more critically. So here, decision-making process, when we decide public policy, we are not wholly complete person. So we are limited, we have limited nationality. We have to decide more seriously, more slowly, or sometimes more seriously. So we have many technical obstacles and political obstacles when we decide that when the president and the government decide public policy. There are so many obstacles, technical and political and environmental, because of limited information. So you also the same. Some your friends know very well how to get scholarship. She and he can go abroad to know how to get a scholarship. If you don't know, you're limited. So you have to, the information is also became power. Yeah? To reduce that uncertainty in the government sector, so the public policy, little by little, they experience, they pass into action, little by little, step by step. It's the increment policy. Okay? And economic calculation, cost benefit, we analyze, we calculate the possible consequences before into action. So it's very important to the method of cost benefit analysis method. Yeah? Sometimes negotiation, because we mentioned the political obstacles. Because when we implement one of the public policies, if the other side, NGOs or other opposition party give objection, it cannot be realized. In that case, we need some negotiation and compromise, some compromise. Okay? And more performance measure system we have to launch. And also strategic plan the same. I'll tell you a little bit later. So it's the framework. I will tell you a little bit later. Other things. Any question? I'll have to change maybe another point. Because I want to introduce some philosophical thoughts. Yeah? This one. We finished. Okay. Before change, I just here. Can I look? I use both my book. Magic? No. Oh, that's all.
Do you want to use the whiteboard?
Just one time. Oh. Here first before just I want a 5-minute break. Before break, just I'll show you one thing. So your the second part I just will give you some philosophical thought before a bit some taste and taste. It's kind of a life planning. So you do many things every day. So we can categorize or we can analyze your daily things, daily to do. For example, we call it 4 quadrants. 1 quadrant, 2 quadrant, first, second, third, fourth quadrant. If divide our what we are doing daily, there are some urgent things and not urgent. There are some important things. They are not so important. For example, ringing the phone, urgent, yes. We are in class, but ringing in my phone, some ringing, and my parents want I immediately come back home, or I have another appointment. It's very urgent thing, but not important. Sometimes urgent, very urgent, not important. Yeah. And so to your parents, very important sometimes. Urgent. Yeah. Or you have to research homework. Maybe next week you will do a presentation in your class. It's not urgent, but it's very important. Yeah. Okay. And follow the K-pop or watch the K-drama or something. It's not urgent, but daily. Not urgent, but important. Not more important. Important practice dance, yes, but in your life, not that important. So we can divide or your homework. You finish your homework, very important. And this week you have finished your homework, very important and urgent sometimes. Okay. So we can divide our work or daily job. But the most important thing for your life, you want to become professor, you want to get a scholarship, you want to study, go abroad, you want to become some very important person. It's very important, but it's urgent or not urgent, because you have to be very competent in learning foreign language or something. Not urgent, but very important. Yeah. So all you think, what you are doing, the most important thing is gather here. Not urgent, but very important. But the other things is urgent, important. Yes, but we can handle. It's not affect seriously our life. My friend gone because of the car accident, gone to hospital. I have to visit him home. Yes, it's urgent and very important, but it's not affect our life to become competent to myself, to be competent or have a more meaningful. It's the not urgent but very important thing. So in your computer or your laptop, anything, not MacBook, but in Windows system, Microsoft Windows system, you will see one of the app is Outlook. Okay? Outlook. In Outlook, you don't use Outlook, never. Yeah? But if you give a look at Outlook, in Outlook, they organize like this. It means in the future or 2 years later, I want to go to United States. I have to learn English, master English. In that case, I have to invest my time to not urgent but very important. In this part, in this point, I have to invest and spend very long time here. It's very important things. In the case in our, so you have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, Saturday. It's the 1 week planning. 1 week planning. The important thing you first check. So do 4 things first. Yeah. Or in other analogy, they say in small jar, small bottle, you put the big rocks. How can we fill out all things? You first very huge and middle block you put, and after you can put the sand. In that case, we can full out whole jar. Yeah, it means very important thing. First, you plan. You have to learn, for example, foreign language and go to the extra after school, after the university, go to the private institute, go to. In that case, you spend much time for not important, not urgent, but very important. So you first very importantly fix, and 1 week, 2 weeks, and 6 months you plan long run. Your life, first things first, you fix, you plan, and after the other things, you can organize the daily life. It's better. So if you have any vision or future, you become something, you get more promote or get more very payable, very good job. To get good job, you have to invest your time. In that case, when you schedule your daily things, the first things first you do, put in your journal, yes, or you divide or you categorize your what you are doing, so you can more easily recognize what is most important for you for your future. Okay? So it's the it's our lifelong plan. We can apply into our job also when you become some when you put it in a private company or something. If your job is more important, in that case, you can put the first things first in your schedule. So it's the kind of a universal framework, a kind of framework. Like I will give you universal framework for how can we measure our performance or our organization's performance. Okay. Is it understandable? You know that, okay? Yes. Really? Measuring performance means in public policy, everywhere, even in your private sector, when you go into private company, there measure your competence. Yeah. So measuring performance, individual performance, group performance, all the same. So we can apply the same methodology. The methodology we can apply into public policy to evaluate public policy effectiveness and to evaluate our private job. In that case, first, we have to understand our environment. So they say sometimes we speak SWOT analysis. Here we have to first the situation where I am, what I'm doing, and with whom I'm doing. So I have to understand my environment first. The second is the set priority. What will be the first things first to do for me in every situation? Yeah. So I mentioned there the kind of a planning, long life planning. Also, you have to put first things first. So first, understand the environment. The second is the priority. You have to decide. You have to pick up your priorities, one of the priorities, and you put in order your priorities, what you are doing. And the third is allocate your power. Allocate your power. You divide what to do in your time. So it's kind of allocate resources and understand what kind of action, what kind of tools I can use. Sometimes I can use to put my smartphone when I will propose my opinion to our MPs. And the last one maybe is the monitor. It's going well, or it's going not well. We can monitor. A kind of a feedback is the improve. How can we improve the? How can we learn from our previous experience? Okay? So in public policy or in your work, the same needs. What will be our needs? And needs means what will be target? Target means what I want to make final result. When you work or when you do something, you first the final product. For example, it's the author, American author Stephen Harvey, wrote Highly Effective People. Already 1970s and 1980s, he wrote about the leadership and highly effective people, the 7 habits of highly effective people. In that book, Stephen Covey first mentioned, think about, imagine, think about your funeral. He said, in your funeral, in America, normally in my funeral, for example, my friend, my family and my job colleague. Three parts, they give some address, some announce about me from my family, and from my friends, and from my job colleagues. So, if think about my final funeral, in the case, what I was done, what I will be done as my private job as the father, because I have so many roles to play. Because in my family, in my job, or in my NGO activities, in my church, in my mosque. So I have so many different roles to play. In the case like this, when you start anything, you think about your funeral, your final. So when you start something to do, you think about what will be the last project, what will be the last result. You think about first. So in public policy thing, when you, as a future public official, if you want work something and decide some public policy, you first think about the result, possible result, before into action. So it's the means you want to have something, you want to exercise some social need, citizenship need. In the case, what will be the target? What is the last result, last product? We think about that. How can we reach the target? We think in the case we input our resources, our skill, my knowledge, we input. Yeah, sometimes in public policy is the budget and some product factors, and we implement what will be the outcome. Output means we input, output means the immediate result, and impact of outcomes is more remote impact. So it's the kind of concept and the process. We can differently write like this. Our activity, for example, here, one activity, two activities, three activities, they are all, we have their main goal is to achieve the kind of objective, goals. The before goals, their intermediate outcomes, and immediate outputs here. So it's like a budget system. When we establish government budget, we start from the small item, and with the small item, what will be the last cost? We calculate after the middle cost and the final cost, and we fix the final budget. It's the bottom-up system. The whole things may be bottom-up system, and to have the kind of process we need. First, mission and vision. So in my life planning, what will be what I will be in the future? While I have my job in the future, I become public officials. I become some CEO in a private company. It's my vision. And what will be my mission? My mission is to studying the business, not public administration, and the commercial law, not administrative law. So maybe different. So mission and vision lead our action. So our action here we can plan, put first things first. Yeah, like this. So always to which targets we analyze and we get data. We measure, so we think about the possible result. That's the program and the process. So here I mentioned the strategically, so the same. You strategically we think about what we are going to do. Our process is the thinking. And I didn't read it here, but in our philosophical methodology, we say, for example, in epistemology means the studies the philosophical sort of science. So in epistemological thought, we think always the model, in English model, a political system, or we see the world, we cannot see all kind of information, we cannot get all kind of information. You know Korea only some images, not all things. Even your country say you cannot see, you cannot understand all things about Indonesia. Only some factors. Yeah, you gather some factors, it's a kind of a model. You know the model about, you have your own model about Korea. It's a kind of a symbol, simplified image. So it's not real thing. It's the symbolized thing. So our vision for the world, we think we understand about what's going on in the world is the only with limited information. So we are limited rational person. We understand the world through model, kind of a small we call it market, yeah? Small miniature, like a small miniature. We just understand the world through model. So model is not real thing. It's more simplified. So in our epistemology, the first thing is to more rational, more objective. You have to destruct. Yeah? You have to break your first thing. Because you see the world through model. You read a newspaper, but newspaper not say all things. There are sometimes different things, different opinion, or it's not all real story. It's a more symbolic or more important thing. Journalists, they wrote in their soul, in their model. So you have to first to become more efficient researcher, to become more efficient student. You have to break the existent opinion. You break, you disturb, you dissolve, disorganize, and you think about in your own thought. But in that case, you have to gather, mobilize more information. So when you, for example, make a report, you gather information. But the first thing not to do is gather information. No, it's not. Every time you gather many information, it's not enough. Or it's another information, all things. So the first thing is to see what you are going to do. What is your priority? What is your first thing? What you are going to do? What is your mission, first? Or your vision? What you are going to show to my friends, in my press? That's the main thought. From that point of view, you select data. So all data is the low data. We call it low data. Is meaningless for us. To be meaningful, more data, you have to become, you have your own vision. You have your own model, not the others one. You have some critical vision for the existing model. So that's why you can change. That's why our science changed. Because sometimes normal science, because Einstein, he broke also the old theories. Yeah? Newton also broken old theories. Like this, we change sometimes, we break the existing vision, existing knowledge. The prior knowledge can be useful after. Yeah? So always in our intelligent research process, we have to break the prior knowledge. At the same time, we use, but we break our pre-existing model. So if you have only, if you have some image on Korea or image on the United States, it's not real. So you have to one more time have a detailed information. And you look closer and think about what you have to do. The first thing, all important thing is your priority and your vision. So I think it's very a prime thing. So, almost finished, I think. I won't say more serious things, but I'll finish this time if you have question, please. So I just mentioned only how you plan your life. Yeah? Urgent thing, important thing, and not important, not urgent thing. So the second quadrant, 1, 2, 3, 4, second quadrant is the most important. So if you have your diary or in your app, in your calendar, digital calendar, you put first important things, and after you use your time. In that case, you cannot lose your time. You will get more important occasion to reach your vision. Okay? So, okay. Thank you. Okay, so all boring.
So anyone have questions, please?
Saya dengar kemarin bilang. So I have a question about policy. If policy or money by us, and Bima, who is stronger? Policy. Who is stronger? Policy or us? Policy or police? Policy. Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Any other question? No? One?
I am Brazil and I'm from second year of my class. Okay, so lately in Miss Angel's class, I'm conducting a research about comparing policies between Korea and Indonesia. And somehow it's included in important but not urgent case. So how is it impossible my research? Because enter the government and became an issue in the government itself, so they could make some policies regarding for research. Thank you.
Any answer?
Maybe I answer you at the same time the question. We talk about, I mentioned social demand. We ask for government all things, but government do not answer to our needs, our as only government select. Who is government? Who select? President of the Indonesia, but really president decide, but it's ordered or limited by law. Law made by MPs. So you elect MPs. Yeah. But once we elect MPs not represent us. Because I mentioned, they represent their vision, their goal, kind of a thing. So it's not very, our MPs are not always right. Sometimes one MP is very powerful, but once he become one of the members of political party to become the MPs in other election, he or she have to be obey the majority parties some order. So it's group. The group influence the decision of public policy. So sometimes you think about the MPs. Who are the MPs? Many MPs coming from the public sector. Before there's many heads of the local government or head of ministers, some high-ranking managers, senior managers became MPs, and sometimes professors or sometimes doctors, medical doctors. Yeah? Very powerful, and also coming from the judiciary sector, judges before, and prosecutors and lawyers, because they are powerful in our society. The more powerful they are, because they become MPs. So they dominate, prevail the decision-making of our public policy. We demand, but demand not reach to the decision makers. Always some intervention from the MPs, from the private sector. For example, our industrial CEOs, they want to deregulate some policy. They want some policy to the president. President cannot listen their needs. Ordinary people, general people, and citizens demand. On the other side, the business sector CEOs demand. Who is more important? For the president and the government, maybe not ordinary people, but the CEOs and the business sector conglomerate is more powerful, have to give answer to them directly, to give them more the regulations and public service. So it's a kind of some paradox of public policy and social demand compared to offer. And second question, I think I cannot exactly answer to your question, but you know, Korea and Indonesia almost in advanced country, or if we proceed in our democratic process, almost all the political and administrative system become same. Because Korea and Indonesia have the presidential system same, and the MPs are will be different but the same. So now with SNS OI system, more and more we have direct access to the MPs and to the government. So government activities are more transparent, have to be answered directly. In other case, we can now solve manifestation. We, from the labor sector, workers, and from the student, even middle and high school student, there every Saturday they have manifest because they declared some resolution against our actual president, because actual president discarded they punished one middle school student drawing caricature draw. It selected the first rank, but the president of Korea, he symbolized and caricatured the presidential face. So the other opposition party used it as the public relation, public campaign. So that's why presidents and governmental officials, they want to give some pressure to the middle school student, so they are angry together. And at the same time, another educational policy is they actual government want to give school, public school to 5 years old child. So all the parents are surprised. 5 years they are going to school, elementary school, not possible. So many opposition. That's why middle and high school students, even they are young, they declare some social demand. So every Saturday they manifest also like this. So in the case, we can give our message directly to the government, and the government has to obey our demand. So direct participatory system is very important also. So in Korea, maybe in English are saying, first in local area, you vote directly through SNS, not going to the voting office. We can, in Korea, always we can mobile everywhere, we can vote, and the control same. Not yet, but soon introduce the kind of system. So the policy will be more close to us. So you have to be always conscious about, if you need something, you go. You gather your opinions, and if you gather your opinion to the MPs, and they are not surprised. Also. So they have to answer. It's the obligation from the government. So you have to be active. Thank you.
Okay, before we conclude and close this general lecture, is there any questions? No? Last one, okay?
She was forced to buy.
Thank you for the opportunity. I am just curious about what I'm thinking of. I think that policy making has anything to do with the service system to the regime. We know that liberalization and democracy comes from Western or AKA US. So do you think that our system or policy making in this international system is our selfish to the, like something like that? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. You know, Japan, advanced country. Japan colonized Korea, so our almost the infrastructure and legal system was before explored by Japan. So still we have that historical weight. So we have to liberalize that weight, but it's not possible. But nowadays Korea is developed and culturally overwhelmed. Before the Japanese culture was dominant, but in future the Indonesian culture will be dominant. It's come turn by turn. You wait your turn. In the case there will be one day in which, and before also we all know the valleys, not whole of Indonesia, but valleys culture was famous. We all knew about the valley and stuff also actually like this. But in Japan now, for example, Japan is one of the behind the country in political system. The reason is two kinds. One, the voting system. You know, in Japan, Japanese people, how they vote every election, you know. In Indonesia, how we vote. Yeah, voting office. And in voting office, you have, okay. Yeah. But in Japan, if I want to vote for some politicians, I have to write his or her name. Yes, the candidates, yeah, it's prehistory, very, yeah, name. So if I'm wrong, write the name. That is an invalid. Yes. So ordinary people are not very interested in politics. But politics decide all things. Politics decide policies, not citizens. It's politicians. They decide policy. They have power. So in Japan, political system so behind prehistory. So why? Because you know in Japanese letter or Japanese language use so many Chinese character. If Chinese character we didn't write letter, it's in the not very good. The second thing is all the politicians, the MPs in Japan or local politicians, their father, mother, not mother, their father or grandfather, or the politicians. But grandfather, they what they had to do 50, 70 years ago, they broke the engaged Second World War. Yes. They, at that time, at the Second World War, they engaged the Pacific War. The Japan, that times politicians, their descendants, their grandsons, grandchildren became actual powerful politicians. So they don't want give any apology to Chinese or to Korea, to Asian country. So, it means it's a kind of tradition and legacy. Politicians, always politicians. So, ordinary people, they're not interested. So, they do not, in Japan, not teach history. Yeah, that is one of the very, very factual fact is the Japan they engaged the Second World War, but never teach. The students never teach their history, never teach their exact history. So Japanese people to people, and not any conflict, each other very close, very international marriage. So many marriage, multiculturalism, very expensive in our country, expensive, but the political sector, they are always in conflict situation. So that's the problem, one of the problems. So we had that kind of historical background in Korea. We tried to get out of that historical background. We tried, so we had many difficulties. That's our situation. But Indonesia now, some Pancasila principle is very good, and also you anti-corruption commission at work and local government system developed. Now in Asian Bank Group, Indonesia first country contribute the money. The first nation who contribute to the Asian Bank. In OECD not rich. In OECD, your country contribute also the fund. So rich country at the same time, but nation rich, but every citizen not so rich. So you have to demand many things every day permanently. So it's your right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Han, for your presentation. Before we close our session, maybe to conclude a bit, conclusion for the presentation, for today's presentation. The use of research in policy making and practices are vital. We could see that from this slide, even the research we use for evaluation, for monitoring the policy that being taken, or research before the policy being decided is important. So before we make some kind of policy, we should research first and specify, for example, to what level of government you want to give your aspiration, to your local government, to your provincial government, or to central government. And that's different cases, different issues. So we are not just send all of them, something like that. And then from the research we use for evaluation and monitoring, we also can use the evaluation for the daily life. Okay, so without further ado, I want to invite Ms. Angel to give some certificate or memorabilia to Prof. Han. Okay, so Angel, on behalf of Physiology, give certificate for Professor Han Yong-Gun for his certification of the Okay, before we take photo together, we want to close our session with closing prayer. I want to invite Talita again. Talita, to let us for pray.
Episode thank you for your invitation. Jadi teman-teman sebelum kita kuliah hari ini, mari kita berdoa. Tuhan Yesus, terima kasih atas kuliahmu kami hari ini. Terima kasih sebekatnya menyertai kami dari awal hingga akhir. Sementara kami ingin pulang, kami ingin kembali aktivitas kami dan kami. Terima kasih Tuhan Yesus. Haleluya. Amin.
Thank you, Anita. So, before we close and going home, please we want to take a picture together with our hand. Maybe you can open your mouth. You want to work? Okay.
One, two, and three. Okay, once again. Okay, one, two, and three. Okay, last. Freestyle. Yeah. Last one. 1, 2, 3.
Saya cuma mengingatkan lagi, semoga kalian menikmati kelas kita hari ini, walaupun mungkin ada beberapa yang terminologi mungkin kalian tidak paham, tapi nggak apa-apa, kita belajar saja karena banyak hal yang baru di sini tadi tentang public policy. Kita memang tidak belajar public policy, tapi somehow foreign policy juga dibuatnya seperti ini, kurang lebih gitu ya, ada proses-prosesnya. Dan terima kasih sekali lagi buat teman-teman buat yang yang membantu ya kita bimbing Jessica bukan untuk Kalita, Bang Printer dan mungkin dari angkatan lain dan mungkin masih online dan YouTube ya tetap semangat, tetap jaga kesehatan dan minggu depan kita ketemu lagi dengan presentasi.
Jangan lupa reportnya. Kalau yang untuk SPK sama yang kalkul kan kumpulin hari ini, tapi untuk yang sering sama ekspor kumpulin hari Kamis. Terima kasih.